And now, Channel R presents Discover Spotlight, an exclusive series of interviews with our favorite emerging artists, taking you behind the music.
Welcome to another Discover Spotlight. This week I'm speaking with the UK dance rock indie band, The Great Leslie. We spoke about writing songs for their new EP, The End and the Beginning, how they got started, plans for more music, touring and lots more.
What's your name? Can lift it, I can touch it. What you saying? Can lift it, I can touch it.
So I've been listening to your album and especially your track that you've put out, your new track at the moment, Wait Around. And I was listening to all the different ones anyway, specifically because I'd read on there, I was reading that you were saying that the album was based on development and demise of relationships.
Yeah.
So I just wondered, what was the story behind Wait Around, that specific one?
Yeah, that's First Meet Someone, which is based on a true story.
Is it?
But yeah, it's the kind of the first spark you kind of feel. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's actually a personal, true story to one of you. That one.
Yeah, they're always true to us and what actually happens to us, because I think that's the best way to approach our writing process and the best way to kind of make it connectable is when you know that it's something real and people, I think the audience feel that as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you can tell when somebody's actually got that feeling when they're singing it as well, and you can hear it, can't you, in people's voices when it's actually something that they felt themselves. Yeah,
definitely.
You can always hear that and feel that. Well, that's good. So are they all true and say, would you say like observational as well then? True life observation as well?
Yeah, it's sort of the less it is kind of a narrative about something that's happened to us in particular, it's more, then it gets more into the observational or indirect kind of consequences of something affecting us. Yeah.
And that's, so the EP then is that that's to cover the end and the beginning of a relationship, the title. What brought you to the title there for the EP?
We just thought it sounded better than the beginning and the end, really.
Yeah.
But I think we didn't want something from the lyrics. We wanted something that essentially encapsulated the whole work and the whole point behind it.
Well, I've listened to them all and they're all very good, and it does capture that whole EP, doesn't it, for you? So at the moment you've put 3 out, haven't you, from the EP? Is that right?
No, they're all out, all 5.
All out now. All right, okay. And this is the last one to go out then, is it Wait Around?
That was actually was that the third that we released? Or no? No, we had two single releases. Can't Touch and Get In.
That was the one I thought,
yeah.
And then the rest followed when the EP fully released.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Giving something away, is that can lead to everything. Out the corner of my eye, she turned to me with bluest of eyes. Oh, to say. Oh, not because I didn't want to say it, but because I thought she didn't also feel it. Even though I didn't let her go without a fight, I thought I knew, which meant that I had to wait around for me to see if she come down. Stop out, I really wanted to be fine. Wait around for me to see if she come down. Stop out, I really wanted to be fine. Yeah. I really wanted to, 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 I really wanted, I really wanted to, I really wanted to, I really wanted to, I really wanted, I really wanted to, I really wanted to, I really wanted to. Alright, for me to see if she come down. Stop out, I really wanted to be fine. Wait around for me to see if she come down. Stop out, I really wanted to be fine. Yeah.
So what influences
Yeah,
the
well-
type of music you write? I know he's saying obviously observational, but is there anything else that influences it in the way you write it?
Are you talking about the lyrics?
Yeah.
It's just about kind of understanding what you might want to say and what you want to, convey and how you want people to feel. Yeah. Sorry, I'm I'm actually on the stairs of my work, so people are going to go back and forth. Yeah. So it's just kind of depends on what we want to achieve, I guess. And with this, it was. That's all right. And with this one, it was kind of like just covering that, like all of those kind of love stories and heartbreak and all that sort of thing. So we can leave it aside, I suppose, for a time and not constantly go back to it. Because everyone talks about relationships and stuff like that, but I think sometimes it's a bit overdone. So this was us getting through that for, like I said, a bit of time, and then moving on to other things. But yeah, approaching relationships and modern relationships in a specific or very kind of what we thought was not very done way. Talking about, maybe having wandering eyes, talking about, leaving someone and then regretting it and then trying to get back with them, various degrees of
relationships.
Of relationships, and then how they can develop and demise, etc.
And do you all write?
We all write the songs together, but I do most of the lyrics.
Right. Okay. So you all sort of have a say in it, but you come up with most of the ideas, is it, of for the lyrics?
Yeah, for the lyrics. Yeah.
So because it's good when you all get your heads together, I'm sure anyway, 'cause you've all got different perspectives on relationships and different things that have happened to you. So you say that's good to put it all into an album like that, isn't it? All the different views and the different ways.
Yeah, totally. It's just, I think it's a nice thing to focus on, the journey, because sometimes people are very unspecific about what they're talking about with regards to relationships. But this is a very kind of clear-cut you meet them and this happens and it develops and then it goes wrong. But yeah.
It's not like the ordinary song that you hear a lot of people singing, a love song, but you can tell it's just sort of, it's fictional rather than a fact. You know, when a lot of the love songs that you hear, you can't hear that it's actually factual, in that there's hurt there or there's regret there. But in what you're singing and the lyrics you've wrote and how you sing it, you can hear that and you can get that from what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I hope so, because that's what we aim to achieve. You know, kind of realism in what we're doing, but also musically, really wanting to connect to people and make them dance and make them sing, make them laugh, make them cry. You know.
Yeah.
Channel R Discover is a weekly curation of music and interviews from the best emerging artists. Listen Sundays at 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern.
How would you describe your sound to somebody that was unfamiliar with it?
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah.
You always get asked that one. What would you say, Fred?
Well, I think Ryan, he described it really well by calling it dance rock, because it's not. Because when you because we usually play with other indie artists, right? And we define ourselves as an indie or indie rock band.
Yeah.
But it's very dancey. Like we use a lot of, all our songs, they have a specific tempo, or they have, they're at least, say, I don't know, 135 BPM. So we wouldn't really write anything slower than that, just because it gives that music a feel. And Ryan called it dance rock because, at our gigs, people they're just moving. It just gets you moving, our music. And I think that's what it's all about, to make it relatable and to make it dancey. And, when you go to an indie gig and you have us on the lineup, we probably hit you like a train when you prepare for a chill indie evening or whatever, because it's just so full of energy. I think that's the best way to describe it. Yeah,
I did hear a bit of because I was listening. When I was listening, I was thinking, I've got a sound there that. It's not that I've heard it exactly before, but you've got a sound of different bands that I've heard before, that I can hear something there that's similar. I couldn't put my finger on it. I did hear a bit of Kaiser Chiefs sort of sounding, but there was other ones as well I couldn't hear, but there's a sound there. It's a great sound, but it's just, I couldn't put my finger on it, but it definitely is that around that sort of, that rock makes sense when you say about the rock, dance rock sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's a question we get asked a lot, what other bands do we think we sound like? And like you, we can't really put our finger on it. Like we have different influences, of course, but ultimately it's the aim of most bands to not sound like a band that already exists, but to sound like something new. And I think at the moment we're doing quite well with that.
Yeah. Do you have artists or bands or music that inspires you? Particular ones at all?
Absolutely, of course. Ollie, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, well, with my answer with this one is always kind of, because doing this for your entire life, you take in so much music, and I think we all have quite wide, very varying kind of tastes individually, but so it brings a lot to the table. So I suppose that's one of the reasons why the chemistry between us when we do write the music together, it really works. It makes it something completely unique, because at the same time, we're bringing all these different, I don't know, hundreds, maybe even influences between the four of us. So it's difficult to kind of pinpoint who inspires us directly. I'd say it's more a case of being really indirectly inspired by many bands than directly been inspired by a few.
Yeah.
Should I take off the shackles that are around my wrists? That ever seems a long time if you don't know that you want it. I feel the cold in this empty breeze. I know the truth of what this means. Now my thoughts are a mess on the edge of the abyss. I wanna leave, you don't wanna stay. Don't know what I believe, don't know what to say. Get in my heart, get in mine, get in my heart, get in mine, get in my heart, get in my, get in my
Was there any bands or any artists or any sort of specific thing before you actually did get to do the music, when you were thinking of starting and going into music, that pushed you to go into it?
Oh, that's difficult. I think because I don't remember a time where I didn't want to be a performer of some sort, and I always wanted to be a singer.
Right.
I always loved Elvis as a kid, and I always loved Freddie Mercury and Queen. I don't know. What about you, Fred?
Not really one specific. I just have this one specific memory of my parents giving me an AC/DC DVD back when I was a kid, and I was watching it, and they played at River Plate, which is in Argentina, and I just saw these hundreds of thousands of people just bouncing, and I thought, I want that.
How did you meet each other to come together as a band?
Alfie, do you want to take this one?
Yes. Sorry, guys, I dropped out there for a sec. My internet went funny. Well, so I came across the Great Leslie when I was repping at a gig in London, and I'd been in this for about 4 years, and we did very well, and then COVID, we couldn't really recover. I was looking for a new band to join, but didn't want to start fresh. I was tempted to kind of start my own band, but didn't really want to have to go through all the hassle of that. Was kind of blown away by the Great Leslie's performance before Freddie and I joined. I really liked the music, really liked Ollie's voice and just the general style. And then Ollie and I got talking, had a session at my place, did some music, and it all sort of came into place from there. And then we met Freddie shortly after. We were auditioning for new guitarists. So that's pretty much it. Ryan and Ollie have been working together for a little while before I joined. So the band was sort of going a year before I joined. Is that right? Sort of around COVID you started?
Yeah, I think, something like that, yeah, a year.
Oh, bless you. So you run into right at the wrong time with COVID as well. Right.
Well, it was kind of actually, it was in, not in spite of COVID, but almost as a result of COVID, because it was originally when Ryan and I were working together. We had about a year and a half together in a band that was essentially just my solo project. And then I think when COVID hit, we made a conscious decision to change to a band to make it a bit more, a bit more accessible and make it and change up the music. So when COVID hit, it was actually like, oh, should we actually come up with a name and maybe write a whole load of music, because we're not actually doing anything else. Actually, almost if it wasn't for COVID, this probably wouldn't have happened, or at least not in the way.
Yeah, so along with that negative came a positive for you, really.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is a good thing. It's always good if you can get a positive out of a negative, let's face it.
Absolutely.
I'll cast them out to let you in.
got any plans for touring or any gigs or anything for the rest of the year this year?
I'm currently, I think we're currently looking into doing another, because we did a tour, I don't know, is it a month or two, a couple of months ago? So we're planning on doing a slightly more extensive tour towards the back end of summer. And we're going into the studio to record our second EP actually this week and next week.
Wow.
And yeah, we do have actually quite a lot on. So yeah, we've got loads of gigs coming up. We've got quite a few smaller festivals, and like I said, we're doing the tour soon, hopefully. But yeah,
so you're going to be busy.
We got very, very busy, almost frustratingly so, because sometimes it's like, oh my God, I don't have enough time to do this. But we manage.
Yeah. Well, it's while it's out there and while you can get out there is the best thing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you just have to do it. You've got to keep on top of this. It's the thing is it's really boring kind of way of looking at it, but a band essentially is a startup, and with a startup, you just got to put in all your hours, all your time, everything you can possibly do. So that's what we're doing. Yeah,
well, nobody can knock you for working hard to try and get it up and going. I'm pretty sure there's no reason why it shouldn't be successful for you. I mean, you're putting all the graft in.
That's what it's all about.
Exactly, yeah. Well, thanks ever so much for speaking to me today. It's been really great to talk to you.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you, Tara.
All right, no problem. Take care.
Thank you for your time.
Right.
You're welcome. Thanks,
later. Bye.
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 Thanks for listening to Discover Spotlight. Learn more about this week's featured artist on channelrradio.com/discover.